Hello friends, welcome to our Rockstar Virat Power YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to learn about Robert Browning. He is an Victorian poet, and this video will be helpful for you in SETNET and PET exam preparation. So let's get started. Robert Browning, his age from 7 May 1812 to 12 December 1889, was an English poet. He was an English poet and playwright whose dramatic monologues made him one of the foremost Victorian poet. Because of his monologues and his work in dramatic, that's why he made a Victorian poet and significant Victorian poet. See, his poems are noted for irony, characterization, dark humor, social commentary, historical setting, and challenging vocabulary and syntax. His career began well but collapsed for a time. These long poems, like Pauline, see the long poems, you have to remember all these names given in the another color, so that you have to answer these questions. The Long Pauline in 1833 and Paracelsus in 1835. We have to remember all the important work written by him, whichever work I am noting in this video, so that you can answer these questions when asked in examination. In the examination, questions are asked in such a way like the literature or literary work are given, and who wrote this literary work, or the writer name is given, and which work is written by him. In this type of questions are asked, so that you have to remember Pauline in 1833 by Robert Browning, and Paracelsus and Sordello, and like Chalion is also work written by him. See, he is an Victorian poet. Robert Browning, considered the master of dramatic monologues. He is a master of dramatic monologues, and he was born in Camberwell, England in 1812. His born date you have to see here. See, Browning's father was well-paid clerk for the Bank of England, while his mother Sarah was an accomplished pianist. Browning was mostly self-taught and utilized his father's huge library. See, he utilized his father's huge library to learn the things. I am telling you again and again that you have to read books so that you can understand various knowledge given in the world. Then see, he contained self-taught and utilized father huge library and contained more than 6,000 books. See, which person had a strong library make him, and he utilized that library, make him so rich, so that you have to understand these points also. At the age of 16, he attended the University College in London, but a year later he grew dissatisfied and left it to pursue learning at his own pace. Okay, then see, in 1846, Browning married the older poet Elizabeth Barrett. Browning married the older poet Elizabeth Barrett and went to live in Italy by the time of her death in 1861. You can understand in this way also. See, then what happened? Browning started writing poetry at the age of 12. You have to understand. And in 1833, Browning anonymously published his first major published work. That name is Pauline. You have to understand the Pauline work is the first major work by him in 1833, and he published at the age of only 12. And encouraged of the actor William Massey, Browning tried writing for the stage but did not prove successful. However, writing for the stage helped him develop his form, the dramatic monologue, a literary form in which a character addressing a silent audience at a critical moment reveals his own character. See, I am not expressing all these things in Marathi. Why? Because if we are understanding all the things in Marathi, then you cannot fluent in English literature. As you are preparing for UGC SET NET examination, you have to qualify examination first. It is a first step for you, but for the interview your knowledge to be you have to give interview, and your all knowledge you have to share with the people in English language, so that in this first stage, if you are preparing with the help of only speaking in English and understanding all the things in English, firstly it will take some time, but gradually you can be a master in this field. Daily, if you daily see one or two videos of our upload channels, which videos are uploaded in my playlist, English literature preparation, and the more time you will spend for this, the more things you will get. In 1844, Browning read Elizabeth Barrett's poem and finally met in her. In 1845, she was invalid, suffering from a lung alignment since her adolescence and living in the care of an extremely protective father. Despite her health, they got married. As I already told you that he married Elizabeth Barrett, which is older than him also, and despite her health, they got married in 1846. And against the wishes of Barrett's father, the settled in Florence, Browning wrote little during the married life. After Elizabeth Barrett's death in you can see in 1861, she had been her death happened. She was invalid, suffering for a long alignment since despite her health, and she got death in 1861. He moved to London with his son and began to publish his poetry. Browning's most famous work is dramatic lyric. You can see Browning most published or most famous work is dramatic lyric, and in this continuing his popular poem My Last Duchess. You have to understand this poem also, My Last Duchess and Porphyria Lover. You can see the names here, My Last Duchess and Porphyria. Then you have to see dramatic romances, The Last Leader, then The Laboratory in 1845, dramatic personate containing Caliban and Septopes and Rabbi Ben Ezra, and Men and Women containing Fra Lippo Lippi. The Ring and the Book 1868 is also written by him. So you have to see here his notable works are like The Ring and the Book, the Fra Lippo Lippi, Sordello, the Piper of Hamlet. As I already told you that they can give us here the name of writer, and at another side the literary work written by them. You have to make the correct sequence of that by using the options, or they gives us a writer name and various literary work, and the name given of that writer, which that writer had produced that literary work. Or they can ask a question like this also, writer is given and his various works is given in three options, and which work is not produced by him is given in another option, and we have to identify, so that you have to remember notable work. And I think you can understand the questions asked in the exam in which types. The Ring and the Book, Fra Lippo Lippi, then My Last Duchess, Sordello, the Piper of Hamelin, the Bishop orders his tomb at St. Praxeas Church, then Pippa passes, Rabbi Ben Ezra, Bishop Blaugumem, Apology, Paracelsus, in this way. So these important things are there. Then The Ring and the Book is 1868 book. The Ring and the Book, this book is produced in 1868. Is considered to be Browning's most celebrated achievement. Browning most celebrated achievement established his popularity. It is a verse novel. You have to remember this also. The type of novel we can be asked in the examination. So it is a verse novel that is based on sensational Roman murder trial in 1698. It is centered on Pompilla, P-O-M-P-I-double, you have to remember P-I-L-I-A, Pompilia, P-I-L-I-A. So, a beautiful young woman who is so unhappy in her marriage to Count Franceschini, and in older and cruel nobleman, that she prevails upon young priest to help her return to her parents' home. The count finds them as Pompilia sent to convent and banishes the priest. When the Pompilia returns her parents, the count arranges for the assassination of Pompilia and her parents. The count is arrested, tried and executed. In this way, this plot is written. Then Browning influences grew during the late 60s and 70s. His influences grew in late 16th and 17th and finally led to the founding of Browning Society in 1881. He was awarded honorary degrees by Oxford University in 1882. He was rewarded in his lifespan also, 1882, and the University Edinburgh in 1884. Browning died in Venice on 12th December 1889. 12th December 1889. So it's an important points you have to remember. Then Browning and the dramatic monologues. We have to see some important points regarding that also, because the questions can be plotted from that points also. So renowned critic M.H. Abraham defines them main characteristic of dramatic monologue. Dramatic monologue in that a single person, clearly not the poet, utters the speech that makes up the whole of the poem in a specific situation in critical moment. You have to understand what is meant by monologue. Monologue means a single person who is clearly not the poet, and utters the speech that makes the whole of the poem in a specific situation in critical moment is called as monologue. This person addresses and interacts with one or more people, but we come to know about the audience presence. Then only from clues in the discourse of single speaker. The main purpose behind the poet's lyric is to reveal the speaker's temperament and character. It is type of monologues. Then the dramatic monologue is a poetic form achieved its first distinction in the work by the Robert Browning. That's why we are studying about the Robert Browning. After that, the dramatic monologue and Browning poems My Last Duchess and Paraphresia Lover. You can see here also My Last Duchess and Paraphresia Lover. Then it is considered to be models in this form, and in the My Last Duchess, the Duke, in My Last Duchess, the Duke is negotiating with an emissary for second wife, even though it is the Duke who is talking about the character of his last wife, the Duchess, to the messenger. One can derive lot of fact about his own character through the manner in which he speaks and the way in which he describes his wife. He is revealed to be emotionally cold and calculating, materialistic and haughty man. He is thinking in this way. And in Paraphresia Lover, what happened in Paraphresia Lover? The speaker describes the act of murdering women he loved during the course and explaining his reason for the crime. The speaker reveals himself to be jealous, possessive and psychopathic lover. In that we have given that psychopathic lover, how he behave with his love we can see. According to David H.S. Browning, dramatic monologues are written in project with an almost quizzes violence, a certain kind of personality, a certain temperament, a way of looking at life, then a moment of history, realized self-revelation of type. They are set pieces which fully known characters set sharply before the reader. In this way, his plotting has been done. So, in this way, we have learned about Robert Browning and his important points. You have to remember that Robert Browning is Victorian poet and his notable works, he is like he has a playwright and whose dramatic monologues made him foremost Victorian poets, and some important the work written by him, and I had already discussed about that also, and you have to remember, so that the question asked when like his epic poem The Ring and the Book, you have to remember. Then Men and Women in 1855, his domestic dramatis personae. Then you have to remember like The Ring and the Book, then My Last Duchess, and his plot and how he behaved like in the like Porphyria lover, and how he made his plot. In this way, we have completed our this session also. For next session, you have to subscribe our channel and on the notification button, so that you can get information regarding whichever new video we are uploading of English literature setnet or PET exam preparation, and you will get notification. Till then, bye, see you soon.